The Beast Slayer. Once upon a time in a far-off land there lived a poor potter and his wife. The old man diligently crafted his pots, but because pots were very cheap he consistently returned home with very little money. The couple had 2 children who were both grown up. Their son was named Lionel, an extremely handsome young man who was nonetheless scared of even the smallest things. His sister Lily was as pretty as a sunflower and possessed a very kind nature. Their parents loved both of them dearly. The mother often expressed her wish for some luck to come their way so their sweet children could live good lives. The father, however, remained optimistic, believing that good fortune would certainly come Lily's way, while he pondered Lionel, who despite having the name of a lion possessed the heart of a tiny little kitten, and wondered what that boy would do as he was not brave at all. His wife reassured him, stating that he should not worry, for when the time was right Lionel would be the bravest of them all and would put every other lion to shame. The father playfully remarked that every other lion must already feel ashamed. One beautiful day Lily was out in the woods humming tunes to all the pretty birds and animals. In that very same wood a kind wizard happened to be present. He observed Lily singing happily and was immediately captivated by her astounding beauty. He mused about the charm of the beautiful forest, but declared Lily to be the most charming person he had ever laid eyes on. He presented Lily with a rose and she in turn fell in love with his gentle eyes. Lily then brought the wizard to her house and informed her parents of her desire to marry him. She explained that he was very kind and had promised to look after her well, but also that she would live very far away and they would never be able to meet them. Her parents were astonished by this news, but seeing their daughter's radiant smile, they gave her their blessings. The wizard thanked them for giving Lily to him, promising to cherish her forever. He offered them a parting gift. Lily bid goodbye to her father, mother, and Lionel, promising to visit them someday. With a mere snap of his fingers the wizard and Lily disappeared in an instant. The family had now become very rich due to the gifts bestowed upon them by the wizard. The potter and his wife were content, but as days passed Lionel began to miss his sister dreadfully. He lamented having no one to fight with anymore. One day Lionel noticed a commotion and saw people crowding around a man who was selling something curious. Lionel tried to see what it was. He wondered why everyone was so excited over what appeared to be just a pair of shoes and a key, dismissing them as silly things. The seller clarified that these were not mere objects but the magic boots and the magical key. Lionel was surprised, noting their ordinary appearance. The seller explained that when one wears the boots they will take that person wherever they wish to go and the key will open any closed door in the world. Immediately Lionel expressed his desire to buy them, offering what he had, which the seller confirmed was plenty. Lionel placed the key in his pocket and put on the boots. He decided to test them, wishing to be taken to where his sister was. In a flash, he found himself standing right next to Lily, and the wizard, Lily, overjoyed, exclaimed his name, and Lionel reciprocated, saying he had missed her very much. He attributed his presence there to his luck, to which Lily inquired how he had arrived. Lionel explained that the magical boots had brought him, expressing his wonder at them. Lily acknowledged their magic and invited him to stay. However, Lionel declined, stating he had only come to ensure she was well and happy, and that he was very excited to use the boots to see another land. Lily teasingly remarked that she knew he did not care about her so much. She then advised him to travel to the land of crystals, mentioning she had heard the king there was a very friendly man who would definitely welcome him. The Wizard Road affirmed that the land was indeed very beautiful and encouraged Lionel to visit, assuring him he would not regret it. Lionel found the land of crystals appealing. The wizard then gave Lionel a crystal ball, and when Lionel inquired about its purpose and function, the wizard replied that he would find out when he truly needed it. Lionel said goodbye to them and prepared to depart, wishing to be in the land of crystals. Immediately, he found himself standing in a beautiful land where the houses were adorned with crystals of every color. The men and women wore sparkling bright crystals in their hair and on their clothes. Lionel was amazed, observing how everything shone beautifully and how happy the people looked, remarking that anyone would be happy surrounded by such beauty. He then wished for the magic boots to take him to the king of crystals. In an instant he was in the palace. Finding it even more amazing, he wondered how to find the king. Suddenly a voice asked who he was. There sat the king of Teach Crystal Land, having his royal breakfast with his daughter Ruby. The king was very shocked to see Lionel and stared at him in disbelief. The king demanded to know who he was and how he had entered the palace. Lionel introduced himself, explaining he had come upon some magic boots, heard about the wonderful kingdom, and thus stood before them. The Crystal King was very interested in the boots, asking how they worked. Lionel demonstrated, explaining he just had to say the name of the place he wanted to go, and the boots would take him there. The king, intrigued, invited Lionel to join them for breakfast and introduced his daughter Ruby. Upon seeing Ruby, Lionel's heart melted as her beauty surpassed all other maidens he had ever met. He accepted the invitation, feeling honored, and wished for the magic boots to take him to the seat beside Ruby, the princess of Crystal Land. The king exclaimed at the boots' magic. The king then inquired how long Lionel had been in his kingdom. Lionel replied that he had been here for just a few minutes, but what he had seen in those few minutes was more than he had ever seen in his whole life. He also noted that the people here seemed very happy. The king then revealed his own unhappiness, lamenting that he was getting old and that his daughter had not married. Ruby interjected, clarifying that she had never said she would not marry, only that she would marry only the man who managed to kill the beast. Lionel was surprised, asking what beast. The king explained that the people of this land were indeed happy, but only until sundown. When evening arrived, every person had to go inside because a beast came to terrorize them all. No one knew where it lived or how to get rid of it. Ruby reiterated her conditions, stating she wanted to marry the man who found out and succeeded in defeating the beast. She then asked Lionel if he understood why she was so unhappy. Lionel asked if the beast was fearsome. The king affirmed that it was very fearsome, so much so that the mere sight of it would make a man scream like a little mouse. Lionel asked if Ruby would not marry any other type of brave man. Ruby scoffed, suggesting that if a man could only kill spiders, she could kill those with her little finger paw. Lionel was terrified by what Princess Ruby had said, but he had fallen deeply for her beauty and desperately wanted to win her heart. He declared he would do it. He would defeat this horrible beast. The king and Ruby found this impossible, reminding him that no one knew where the beast lay. Lionel confidently stated he would find its lair and asked the king to trust him, promising to end the reign of terror for them. That evening, as Lionel was preparing to depart, he wondered what he was going to do. Realizing he had no clue what to do, even if he found the beast, he decided he would face it when he got there, and resolved to be brave, he commanded the magic boots to take him to where the beast resided. The next second, Lionel found himself standing in front of a huge door deep in the forest. Behind him were long and thick vines hanging from a tree. He realized it was a hidden door, which explained why no one could find its lair. He tried opening the door, but it was shut tight. He remembered the key and took out the magical key from his pocket, the one that would open any door. He hoped it would work, pleading for it to open. The door creaked and slowly opened to reveal a dark entrance. Lionel resolved to enter the cave and face the beast, telling himself nothing would scare him, and That he could do this, Lionel gathered his courage and entered the dark, gloomy cave inside. He snuck around quietly, finding no sign of the beast, wondering if it had gone out. Then he saw the beast sleeping soundly. It was very terrifying to look at, and its snoring was so loud that all the things in the cave shook and trembled. Lionel thought, "Beast, I found it. Now I find a way to finish it." Lionel went and stood closer to the beast. He bent a little lower to get a good look at it. The sound of a crack was low enough to wake the mighty beast from its deep slumber. It awoke and looked at poor Lionel, who was so scared he could not move at all. The beast roared, demanding to know who he was and how he dared to enter its cave and disturb its sleep. The beast caught Lionel with its huge claws and put him in a giant silly cage. The beast questioned how the human had found its cave and what sorcery he had used. Lionel, trying to be strong, explained he had a magic crystal ball that allowed him to see any place he desired. The beast dismissed the crystal ball as useless now that it had captured him. Lionel wondered how to free himself, feeling as though everything was over, until a thought struck him. He flattered the great beast, remarking on its strong appearance, but then provocatively questioned if it was truly as strong as people said. He presented himself as just a traveler curious to see how strong it was. The beast boasted that it was the strongest beast that had ever walked the planet and that no one would dare challenge it. Lionel retorted that the beast was lying, questioning how anyone could be so strong unless its power was fake. The beast, angered, declared that it possessed real power, unlike Lionel's fake shiny ball. It revealed that its power came from its heart, which it had turned into a crystal and hidden within the crystal cave of that land. Lionel inquired about the crystal cave. The beast explained it was a cave full of strange and magical crystal shards which no human could enter, and no one from that kingdom went there anymore ever since it started to rage. Lionel, continuing his flattery, exclaimed that the beast was indeed very strong and brave. The beast, deciding it had chatted enough, declared it must go out and hunt because it was very, very hungry, assuring Lionel it would eat him later. The beast then walked out of the cave and went to terrorize the people of the kingdom, leaving Lionel feeling very scared. Lionel breathed a sigh of relief, thankful the beast was gone. Realizing it told him enough to escape, he commanded the magic boots to take him to the crystal cave. As he opened his eyes, he found himself in a beautiful dark hollow cave filled with small sparkly crystals of many colors, so pretty that Lionel almost forgot why he had come there. He quickly refocused, reminding himself he had to find the beast's heart quickly, but wondered how, given there were so many crystals. Suddenly the crystal ball began to glow in his hands. He looked at it in wonder, noting its strange behavior. As he looked at the crystals through the ball, one of them changed color. He instantly knew that must be it, that must be the beast's heart. He took the glowing crystal and threw it to the ground. It fell and smashed into a million pieces, which then disappeared. He had done it. Lionel then commanded the magic boots to take him back to the king of the land of crystals. He startled the king, who was eating. Lionel excitedly announced to the king and princess that he had done it. He had finished off the beast. The king was incredulous, asking if he had truly finished off the beast. Lionel confirmed, assuring His Highness that they were free from its terror and their people would now be safe. The king rejoiced, thanking Lionel. He then stated there was still one more thing left to make him extremely happy, looking at Ruby, acknowledging that Lionel had indeed finished off the beast, and remembering her promise, gladly agreed to marry him. The very next day a grand ceremony was held and the people rejoiced at the princess's marriage to the brave beast slayer. Lionel, proud, asked the princess if he had been brave to kill such a mighty beast. Ruby affirmed his bravery, expressing her happiness to have such a brave husband like him, and Lionel expressed his happiness to have such a sweet and lovely wife. Analysis of the beast Slayer Story. The Beast Slayer Story is a captivating narrative about an unlikely hero's journey from timidity to immense bravery, driven by love and facilitated by magical aid at its core. The story explores themes of personal transformation and the discovery of inner courage. Lionel begins as a young man who, despite his lion-like name, possesses the heart of a tiny kitten scared of even the smallest things. This initial portrayal sets up a stark contrast with his eventual role as the Beast Slayer, highlighting his remarkable character development. His parents, particularly his father, worry about his lack of bravery, while his mother holds an optimistic belief that he will become brave when the time is right. This parental dynamic subtly foreshadows Lionel's future and underscores the theme of destiny. The role of magic is central to Lionel's journey. The story introduces three pivotal magical items: the magic boots, the magical key, and the magic crystal ball. The boots grant instantaneous travel to any desired location, serving as a direct catalyst for Lionel's adventures, first allowing him to visit his sister and then transporting him to the land of crystals and, eventually, to the Beast's lair and the Crystal Cave. The magical key complements the boots, providing access to otherwise impenetrable places, notably the Beast's hidden cave. Without these items, Lionel, despite his newfound resolve, would likely have been unable to locate or confront the Beast. The crystal ball, initially an enigmatic gift, proves to be the ultimate tool for overcoming the Beast. It not only provides a means of insight for Lionel to deceive the Beast into revealing its weakness, but it later directly assists him in identifying the Beast's true heart among countless other crystals, leading to its destruction. These magical objects are not merely conveniences, they are integral plot devices that enable Lionel's quest and symbolize the external aids that sometimes empower individuals to overcome internal limitations. The narrative also delves into the power of love and motivation. Lionel's initial journey is sparked by his deep affection and longing for his sister Lily. However, his true transformat Ion is ignited by his profound love at first sight for Princess Ruby. Ruby's challenge, requiring the defeat of a terrifying beast as a condition for marriage, presents Lionel with a seemingly insurmountable obstacle. It is his overwhelming desire to win her heart that compels him to confront his deep-seated fears and undertake a perilous quest. This demonstrates how powerful external motivators, particularly love, can drive individuals to achieve what they previously thought impossible. The Beast itself represents the fears and challenges that paralyze the people of the Crystal Land, and by extension the internal fears that had previously paralyzed Lionel. The Beast's power, stemming from its hidden crystal heart, symbolizes that even the most formidable threats often have a vulnerable point that can be discovered through wit and perseverance rather than brute strength alone. Lionel's cleverness in tricking the Beast into revealing the location of its heart rather than engaging in direct combat highlights that true bravery can also involve strategic thinking and resourcefulness. His journey is not just about physical courage but also about mental fortitude and the ability to outsmart a formidable foe. The story concludes with the joyful union of Lionel and Ruby, celebrating not only the defeat of a monster but also the triumph of love and courage. The communal rejoicing in the Land of Crystals signifies the restoration of peace and happiness, directly attributable to Lionel's valiant actions.